Alright, let's take a look at that. So once again, this lap was done by Maconi Shop Esports driver Ryan Andrews, so thank you to him once again. I can't get my handle on these B-Fix cars on road courses, at least to the level that I want to make guides for you guys for, so this is going to be Ryan once again. Okay, so we're going to go for the run-up here. So I know the theory of this pretty well from running ARCA here just a couple weeks ago. He sets up wide so that he can kind of straighten out his car early enough so that he can get a good run onto the straight here. And this is a lot of speed that he's carrying, so this is actually very important for the run-up. It's worth at least a tenth or two. So we'll take a look at his braking point. You see he can get up to about 80% on the brake here to at least start with, as long as he's in a straight line. Make sure that you don't have any sort of steering input with your hard braking. So around right at the 800, maybe just a little bit later. And then as you get closer and closer down to the turn, once you start turning in, that's when you want to let off your brake and bring it down to a trail. So you see he brings it down to that 20% trail, and then once he hits apex, that's when he shifts onto that partial throttle. Very similar to oval, but a little bit different at the same time. So he wants to keep it tight to the curb here. So you keep it tight. So this is very important. I know this from ARCA. If I'm still slow on Xfinity, don't worry about me. But I know from ARCA is that you want to take this turn right here, late apex on the curb instead of early apex, because it'll just set you up a lot better, and it's worth like multiple tenths if you do that. So you see he sets up for the late apex on the curb, and now he's able to set up for this next set of corners very comfortably. You see he's riding the brake all the way through here. Normally you might want to get a little bit closer to the curb here, so maybe on the brake a little bit earlier, try to get that weight shift a little bit earlier, but it's still carried pretty good speed through here, so it didn't matter too much. You keep it to the right here. You don't want to drive too far out to the left here, because you're not going to be able to take this chicane. So you want to at least be in the middle of the track, and then you can just throttle through. You can just throttle through the chicane here, and you can just about full throttle through it. It's a little sketchy, so you might want to back off a little bit compared to that, but you can go pretty hard through there. And now we're on the straightaway, and braking point pretty early, right even before the 700. Again, you don't want to go over that 80% brake or so. And then as we bring it down closer to the corner, we bring it into the trail brake so that we can get the rotation. Then we pick up the throttle at apex. And again, we do not want to go all the way out here. When we have a combination of these left then right then left, you don't want to use the whole track limits, because then you're not going to be able to use the track on the next part of the corner. So he chokes off his exit on purpose so that he can take the next corner with a better angle. So you see now he's going to take a lot of curb, late apex, a lot of curb, late apex, and then this right-hander you just want to flick into the corner. You want to take as much curb of this as possible. This is a lot earlier of an entry than you think. A lot of people are going to miss this entry because this angle is kind of not how it seems. You kind of the turn kind of seems like you'll kind of turn like this and then make an exit, but the exit's really wide comparatively, and the entrance comes up really quick. So you just flick it in, and you're going to be able to get on the throttle a lot earlier than you think is intuitive. Good throttle control there, not to spin out. And then just do whatever you can not to slide your rears here. And then brake right before you get to the what was it, 400 sign? Whatever the first sign is, 300. You want to brake a little bit before that. And again, same idea. You want to brake hard, and then once you start to turn in, you want to bring that back down into a trail. Use up all your real estate here. Get as wide as you can without compromising your time, because we want to get this late apex. Late apexes are very important in these infield bits because these cars are very momentum based. Again, partial throttle control, and we just drive it back onto the straight. So a couple things to talk about with long run is that for all these heavy braking zones, they should be pretty consistent for the race, but you might need to back them up if you find that you're starting to slide your tires, because these tires are very heat sensitive in these races. Once you start heating up your rear tires, they're just going to go away. So you want to just keep your car as stable as possible, even if you're giving up a little bit of time in the short term, because you'll thank yourself a lot towards the end of the race. Other than that, Thank you, Ryan, once again for the lap, and I hope to see you all on the track.